So this is part 2. 15 minutes, part 2 of 2009. So when I got up after I make Tahajjud prayer, I'm walking to the bus stop to, the bus stop downtown to get on the bus so I can go and make my prayer back in Hamtramck. So before I got on the bus, I went in my pocket and I grabbed Arabian musk, which was one of my favorite oils back then. And I said, you know what, let me just put some smell goods on right now. Fragrance to me actually made me feel good. So that's actually what I did. Actually, I'm going to mention something else as well. When I was moving out of that place, I didn't have too much clothes at the time, so I just had the small amount of clothes I had and my oils. My clothes and my oils, that's it. Nothing else, clothes and my oils, okay? Now, let's go back. Okay, let's go back to, so I got on the bus going back to Hamtramck. I prayed Fajr prayer in Masjid Ghazali, which is a mosque over there on Joseph Combo. Okay, close to Berry Street. And so, went to the Friday prayer, which is called the khutbah, okay? The Friday prayer where, the Muslim preacher, he gives a sermon. Every Friday, it takes like 30 minutes to an hour. So I went there. Brother Omar called me like 2 hours before. He said, hey, listen, brother, where you at? I said, I'm by the mosque. He came, he picked me up, we got some breakfast. And first thing the brother told me, he said, brother, I couldn't sleep last night. He said, brother, I cried last night because I was worried about you, brother. And that's a really true friend, man. When you're going through something and a person will reach out, a person will actually reach out to you and especially can't sleep at night, that's what you call a real friend. So that's exactly what he did. So went to the mosque after we ate, got ready to go to the mosque. When the mosque started, there was a brother named Nasser, okay? Yemeni brother named Nasser, but he looks white, but he's Yemeni. Gave a speech in Arabic I didn't understand. The only thing I understood with a couple words was sabr, which means patience. After the sermon was over, Brother Omar said to me, he said, brother, listen, that speech was specifically to you. And I said, how was it? He said, that speech was specifically about having patience in the times of adversity. So right after the khutbah, it was an hour right after the khutbah, met another brother named Nasser, slim brother from Yemen, Yemeni brother. So the Yemeni brother, he found out about my situation. He said, listen, there's a brother named Mufiq who sells cars, but he has like an apartment for rent. Or like a basement, that you can rent out. It's already furnished. And he charged like $150 a month, $300 deposit, $150 a month. Heat, lights, gas, everything. Stove, fridge, everything. And I was like, really? Went over there. He talked to him. The Yemeni brothers, they vouched for me, man, because he wasn't going to let me move in there. Yemeni brothers vouched for me. And that brother Nasser, this brother didn't know me from a can of spray paint, vouched for me, got me in there, and he paid for me. I probably had like $20. The brother paid for my security deposit to get in there. He paid for me. Yasser didn't know me from a can of spray paint, and he did that for me. One thing I noticed about the Yemeni brothers, they got really good hearts, man. So they very tribal people. They can be racist at times, but when you really get to know them, and if they get close to you and they see that you're a trustworthy person, they're really good people, man. They got really good soft hearts, man. And they stick together too. But they embraced me like I was family to them, man, because I've been in the area for so long that they treated me like I was one of the Yemeni. They treated me like I was Yemeni. So what happened was, I moved in that place, man. I was so grateful, so thankful. So what happened from there, that very same month, I ran into a brother named Saud. Okay? There was a brother named Saud. If you don't know who Saud is like, hey, how you doing this morning?
How you doing?
Saud is like a legend when it comes to the oils in Detroit. Saud, he was Cuban. He was from Canada. Saud used to ride his bike all over Detroit. He has to have a backpack filled with oils and incense and black soap, shea butter, and also used to have DVDs. Filled to the max. How y'all doing this morning?
Hey.
All right. So Saud used to ride his bike all over Detroit selling this oil. Matter of fact, before I came here, I was talking to a white brother named Abdurrahman. And he was telling me that he missed that brother. And I would say it's very ironic because I was going to give a documentary about him. And so I told him, I said, Brother Saul got deported. He got deported back to Canada. But Brother Saul, man, he said that brother right there, I've always known him for selling oils, and he used to be out 2 o'clock in the morning selling oils. One thing that I've known him for, he would get out early in the morning and sell oils all day. Sometimes he didn't even go home till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Saul riding his bike. Brother used to wear a turban, had long hair. He used to wear a thobe all the time, and he used to always be on that bike, man. One of the things that really, I admire from this brother, man, Saul had beautiful manners, man. Beautiful, man. I'm talking about, this is probably one of the most mannerable brothers that I ever met in my life. Good-hearted brother. When I was around this brother, I felt so much at peace. I'm talking about, hey, how you doing this morning? Hey. So I felt like relaxed when I was around this brother, man. Good brother. I don't know anything bad to say about Saul. Nothing bad to say about him. Beautiful brother, man. Beautiful brother. Very beautiful brother. The brother, man, and I'm going to tell you one, after Fajr prayer one time, he rode his bike to Fajr prayer, Masjid Ghazali in Hamtramck. Afterwards, he had a talk with me. He said, listen. He said, because he knew I saw oil too. Good morning, how you doing, man? Hi. So he said, I said, I'm going to get out around 10 o'clock. He said, brother, listen, you got to get out earlier. He said, after Fajr prayer, the early morning prayer, which came in around 6, get out and sell your oils. He said, because there's barakah out in the morning. There's blessings out in the morning. And now, first, 2 things came to my mind. The first thing was, dang, you know, Abu Zakaria already told me that 2008. The second thing came to my mind. I said, it's very ironic because I got a fragrance called barakah, which means blessings. So he said barakah. He said, there's barakah. There's blessings out in the morning for people to do business. Get out early. So what I did was I did a research on it, and he was absolutely right about that. It's blessings out in the morning for people to do business when they get out early. So I did exactly that. I took his advice. I did that for like a week, and then the very next week, well, actually, when I did it that week, I would go downtown, sell oils down there. Came across, I went to a corner store on Griswold and Grand River. It's a corner store. Good morning, how are you? Griswold and Grand River, okay? It's a corner store right across the street from that strip club over there, the old strip club. So what happened was, when I walked in, I saw Brother Yazid. Remember Yazid I talked about from 2007? How y'all doing this morning? Yazid from 2007. Good morning. So Brother Yazid, he was in there selling his oils inside of the corner store. Good morning, how are you? Can I give you a free sample when you come back out? Okay. So Brother Yazid was in there selling his oils. I said, hey, Yazid, assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, man, how's it going, man? You know, I didn't know you was here. He said, yeah, I've been here for, I think it's probably been like a couple months. Now Yazid, he was on Griswold and State Street at that corner store, but that corner store closed down. He went to the next corner store, which is actually 1 block up the street on the corner, right? And he was there. He was selling his oils there. So he would, chop it up with me, when I came there periodically, because I used to come down there every single morning to sell my oils, walk around downtown Francis, and I used to be in the whole area right there. So what happened was, like 3 weeks later, I didn't see Brother Yazid there. So I asked the brother inside of, they work inside of the corner store. I said, what happened to Brother Yazid? They said, we haven't seen him. So a whole month went past, and and they asked me, do you want to set up here? I said, brother, I don't want to do that because the brother sells his oils here. And so he was like, the brother, he ain't came here. I said, let me just wait for a minute. So I waited. And I waited for probably almost a month. Came back, he still didn't set up. Actually, no, it was 2 weeks. He didn't set up, so he didn't set up still. So I came back and I said, all right, I'll set up. Because he came, I said, I don't think he's going to come back. So, let me see what happened. Yeah, so he didn't come back. 2 weeks later, Yazid shows up and he was like, brother, what you doing? I said, brother, they told me I could sell here. You know what I'm saying? I thought you was gone. And so the brother said he was taking care of some things. But he didn't get it back until after I left. And he we had a couple words. I mean, it was no disrespect, but it was like, I said, brother, listen, I didn't do that intentionally, brother. I told them no. They let me set up because they thought you was gone. That's the only reason I'm here. So the halal, don't keep in mind, the halal bookstore on Washington Boulevard was actually right around the corner. So when I sold out, it was very accessible to me because I could go right around the corner. At that time, Abdul Hamid had hired a young brother named Yusuf, like the same age as me, hired a brother named Yusuf to make the incense for him. When I walked in, Yusuf was making the incense, right? Yusuf from Highland Park. Yusuf used to walk around downtown Detroit selling this incense as well, and I used to buy from him. Free samples and oils? Okay, what about when you come back next time? Yeah, all right. So, good morning, how are you? All right. So, what happened was, let me see what happened from there. Okay, so Yazid, after that, this is what made me leave. I was at that store, and then I would be there from 6 in the morning to around like 4. So the brothers told me, they said, listen, man, if you stay a little bit longer, you'll make more money. So I said, okay, I'll take his advice. How y'all doing this morning? So I said, you know what, I'll take your advice. So I stayed, very first day I stayed there, right? Dope boys came in there. And I know that look. Dope boys came in there inside of that corner store. And they was like, she gonna be open like 11. All right. So dope boys came in there. They looked at the guy that owned the store, corner store, and they was like, hey, I'm not gonna say his name, hey, such and such, what's up? And obviously I knew what that meant. I read between the lines, and obviously what that meant was, you know, why he's selling oils here, you know what I'm saying? We come here to do our thing, you know, we pay you a little, you know what I mean? We pay you to, allow us to be here to, to get our transactions. He gonna mess up our flow. What is he doing here? I didn't want to talk to them. I didn't want to talk to the owner and try to say, listen, don't do this. He did that based upon something that he obviously wanted to do. So this is what I said. When I heard that right there, I packed my stuff and I got up and I left out of this store. Because I didn't want to be in the middle of anything. So I got up and I left that store. And I didn't come back. Yazid actually came back and started back setting up there. You know what I'm saying? So one day, and so what I did was I said, I'm going to start selling oils in Highland Park. So I went to Highland Park selling my oils out there, Woburn and Manchester area. And it was a plaza right there, so I would sell my oils in the whole area over there. One day, walking in that plaza area, selling my oils, I ran into a brother named Ali Mustaqim. Or Ali Mustaqim. If you don't know who Ali Mustaqim is the man when it comes to imports. He was the one that really showed me that the imports will bring you much more money than the domestics. And he showed me the difference between the domestics and the imports. And the imports are obviously, you ready for your sample? Okay. That the imports are actually better than the domestics. So he gave me a sample, put it on me, and actually he was able to detect what I had on. He said, "You're wearing Egyptian musk, aren't you?" And I said, "You know what? It's funny that you say that because I was actually wearing Egyptian musk at the moment." Good morning. How are you? So I was wearing Egyptian musk at the moment. Then next week, I was walking, I saw a Korean fish market on Woburn in Manchester. And I asked the brother, I said, listen, can I set up, is it okay if I can sell my oils in here, set up? And the brother said, it was like, it's not a problem. Go ahead, do what you do, brother. So I was there in 2009, and I was there for a nice little minute, man. And I think that's it. Yep, that's pretty much it, man. That happened in 2009. So it's your guy, Professor Smellgood. Thank you guys for watching. 2009 Journey to Professor Smellgood. Now let's sell some of this raspberry. Cool name.